Fine. בעזרת השם, בשם השם נעשה ונצליח. Mishlei, this class is Edward's idea. The Mishlei part. I hijacked it for Shalom Bayit. Well, we are going to just do one pasuk from Mishlei. Shlomo HaMelech tells us, Chochmot bachutz tarona, barachovot titen qola. Chochmot, not chochma, but chochmot. Chochmot, wisdoms, I guess. Bachutz tarona. They should be taught outside. Barachovot titen qola. On the streets, it should give its voice. What does it mean? Gaon tells us that anything that has to do with Yetzer Hara, people want to do it quietly. I mean, times have changed, but just this week somebody asked me, he wanted to do something. I said, look, would you be embarrassed if this thing is publicized? Is this adjusted? Huh?
Yes.
Okay. So he says, so I said, look, anything that you're afraid that if it's publicized, don't do it. Right? Anything that you're afraid that if it's publicized, you're going to be embarrassed, don't do it. So this is what the Gaon says. He says, Chochmot Torah, everything Gaon says, it's in the open. When you act the Torah way, you don't need to hide anything, right? Because you have the proper values. Chochmot bachutz tarona, barachovot titen qola. And also, this chochmot is alluding to Torah shebechila and Torah sheba'al peh. The oral, that's why it says plural. The oral and the written law, the Torahs, it should be studied in companion, not by a person should not do it by himself. That's why it says, bachutz tarona, barachovot titen qola. And Farshim say that it means it should, because a lot of words of Torah could be misinterpreted if a person learns by himself. By himself. That's why also in Talmud it says cherev el abadim. It's very, very dangerous. I've seen people like that they just go and go online and this and that. To learn Torah you need to have a Rabbi. There's a reason why HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us Torah shebechila and Torah sheba'al peh. Torah sheba'al peh makes sure that somebody transmits to you the Torah, right? So now, unfortunately, even Torah Sheba'al Peh is written, right? But you see, the idea has not changed. That you need to have a Rebbe to learn Torah, because otherwise, a lot of it's all from writings, right? A lot of misconceptions could come about, and I think some of the misconceptions that we have about married life, right? It's also because we misunderstand the Torah, or worse than that, because you see our value system is wrong, right? I've said it many times. Last night at the chuppah, I said it there. I said, look, people get their values either from the Torah or from Hollywood. I don't call it Hollywood. I call it Hollywood because it's empty, right? How do you decide what is really the right thing? Always questions come up. What is right? What is wrong? Let's say nowadays, abortion. Is it right or it's wrong? How do you form an opinion? What is right or what is wrong? If you don't have the Torah values, so who forms your opinions? It's Hollywood, right? The amount of there are books written. How much influence Hollywood really has on the policies of Supreme Court, United States President, etc., etc. So, unfortunately, I think we have a lot of, when it comes to married life also, we have the wrong yardsticks, the wrong concepts. What is right? What is wrong? We have been talking about, Baruch Hashem, I see these classes, I get a lot of hits on YouTube. If a person, if he has internet, they should have filters on it. We had the whole thing last week in school. But it's a kind of blessing also. I was thinking it's Chochmot bachutz tarona, when Shlomo HaMelech says Chochmah has to be in the out, right? It has to be publicized. Nowadays, through internet and YouTube also, if it's used properly, it's really, Baruch Hashem, I have a lot of hits on these Shalom Bayit classes. So you see, we have in the previous classes, we saw, and if anybody has any issues with that, could maybe have more discussions. We saw clearly that the Gemara tells us, it's one of the Chokhmot, tells us that a woman is what? Is a yoke. It's an ol. Right? Maybe ladies won't like to hear that, but that's what the Gemara says. Right? That it's an ol. When a man gets married, he has to accept upon himself, and it says it's good to get married young. Because بالا نسبت یه گوساله که میخوام نش عادت بدن یوغ چیز بکنه از بچگی میذارن عادت میکنه. Right? That's what it says. Right? That's what it says. This is the same way. It's my Torah, it's your Torah. It says tov la gever, right? It says you see, I think if a person would get married with this understanding, I think the whole the attitude is completely different. And we said the reason why it says because all puts limitations, right? All puts limitations. We have to realize that, right? But you have to realize when you put that all on that balance but animal, then you accomplish. You plow and you harvest, you do whatever Without that, it wouldn't be done. And since we spoke about it before, that Olam Chesed Yibane, the main purpose of creation is really the first mitzvah of Torah Kedusha, to get married and to have children, to create a family. That's the purpose. Bereshit is Bayit Rosh. Bereshit is Bayit Rosh. Since that's the purpose, and the only way you could do it is through marriage, right? So we have to realize that that creates that yoke, right? Ladies don't have the mitzvah pirah rivya. You know that the mitzvah is on men, so therefore they are doing us a favor. You owe your wife before you start anything. There is a certain we are indebted to them. We are indebted to our wives to agree to marry us and to bring children. We said bringing children, giving birth, it's such a major difficulty that Hashem, the loving God, did not give. Hashem روش نمیشد میسواره به خانم‌ها بده. گفتیم به خانم‌ها نداده، مردا داده. And they do us a favor. And part of this all is that we have to realize men and women are different. Men and women are different. The Torah says, "E'eselo ezer kenegdo." E'eselo ezer kenegdo. We were created like that. Forget about all the feminists, and they don't talk about it anymore, I think. When I was young, that was very hot. Feminism, etc. Men and women are different, right? And we spoke last time that there's a lot of behaviors and moods that ladies have that for men it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. But the point is that this is part of that realization. They are different, right? Men and women are different. They have, we have to realize. Men go through a lot of moods. Men, last time we spoke about the fear that they have from bugs, etc., right? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And it really could anger men, right? It doesn't make, to wake up the husband in the middle of the night because they saw the cockroach, I know of these cases. I know, I'm not sure it cases just a few weeks ago. In the middle of 2 o'clock, she found the cockroach in the back after she, and screaming, But this is part of the all. Men and women are different. Now, you see, so far, what we spoke about, it seems like, it's just, men constantly, they have to just carry this all on their yoke, but this is not really what Rav Wolbe says. We have some new faces. What we are sharing is some of the teachings of Rav Wolbe, Zecher Tzadik V'Kadosh Libracha, Hadracha L'Chatanim, that he used Ma'amarei Hadracha L'Chatanim, that for in the yeshiva he would train yeshiva boys before they get married. But Mohaya Harvach has Av Begiran, Tazas. So he says, does it mean that always the husband has to be the one who is mevater, who lets go, Hachishoma begin? Not at all. Right? A husband cannot have expectations and any demands from his wife. He says, Vaday shalom. Definitely, this is not the point. This is not the point that, always it's the husband, he's the one that has to compromise. That's not the intention. Harei isha mafli'a la'asot, he says, right, Rav Wolbe says you have to know, the Gemara says, that a wife wants to have a husband that is going to be in charge. Right? Ladies want to have a husband that is really in the driver's seat. Right? He says, Teva ha'isha le'istagel, kol isha rotza sheba'ala yihyeh harav beveito. Every woman, every Jewish woman, wants her husband to run the show. Right? So you see, Rav Ben David says, Eizo isha keshera ha'osa et retzon ba'ala. The Gemara says, who is a kosher lady? The one who does the will of her husband. Rav Ben David says, osa means to form. If she's smart, she could form the will of her husband. Right? But it's his will. It becomes his will. Right? He says, really, deep down, this is the nature of the ladies. That they want their husband to be the driver's seat. When you drive, usually, you drive or your wife drives?
Mix. We drive.
Huh?
I'm not driving.
Where's the chauffeur? That's it. That's right. But usually I think, usually most, they want, maybe they are going to, they want him to drive. They want him to drive, right? He says, it's not just to drive the car. She really deep down wants her husband to lead the household. And it doesn't matter how intelligent she is and how much she holds herself to be smarter than her husband. It doesn't make a difference. He says it's really, you see the women's psychology from the Torah and from the Gemara, that deep down she wants mitiv'ah. He says that's her nature. She wants to have a husband that has a backbone. That she wants somebody that she could lean on. Right? This is really definitely, I see a lot of girls dating, etc. They want somebody who has a backbone. Right? להישען על בעלה ולראותו כמנהיג בחייה וביתה. She wants really to see him in that position. They don't like some kind of meek, a husband that doesn't have a backbone, right? So now the point is, and this is really shocking, that the Mekubalim say, we spoke about it last time, that the man in Kabbalah, the man is Rachamim, the woman is Din. Man is compassion, a woman is Din, is judgment. Women, right, Rabotai, women, I think we probably spoke about it last time, right? We have the Gemara says, right, that look at the raw material, what they were made of, right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu created Adam Rishon from dirt. Hashem made Chava from a rib. Right? I told you the joke probably, right? I must have said, right? when Adam Arishon came with the whole shopping list, right? Right? So now, you look at this. The Gemara says, that's why the Gemara says, ladies are much more difficult to לפייס میشه یعنی از خرشتون میرشون پایین. زن یک دنده است. hard. مرد خاک میدونی یه ذره آبم بزن گل میشه دیگه شل میشه گل میشه شل میشه right. چیزی که هست one of the things is like when it says that you have to realize if you inscribe something, if you engrave something on bone, it stays there forever. On dirt, it's very easily could change the shape. Something happens. Ladies would not forget. They would remind you 50 years ago, how did you do something? Yadete, right? Don't expect them. You see, don't expect a woman ever say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Should I repeat that?
No, we understand.
Okay. I'm telling you, it's very, very rare. It's very, very, I mean, I have a lot of experience working with couples. And I ask them that. So I say, when was the last time I asked the man that, you did something and you said, I'm sorry? He said, yesterday, whatever. I asked her. I don't remember because I don't make mistakes. I mean, this is part of this. All you have to realize. That's what it says. It's etzem. Etzem, a bone is very hard. And one of the things is that they don't forgive and they don't forget. Don't expect your wife really to apologize that she made a mistake. It's very rare. It's very rare. This is the teva. This is the nature of a woman. And they don't forget. I guarantee to you. Once at anger or something, you say something, right? It would never get forgotten. That's why, Rambam, he's so careful. Rambam says, like kavod is, when it says, right, a husband, right, has to have, they have mutually says kavod. Kavod is, among other things, the way you talk to each other, choice of words. One inappropriate word said, it would never be forgotten. By men, it's not like that. Men, they could curse each other and everything. Next minute, but they could make friends, finished. Gone. Because men are made from dust. خاک. خاک هم میشه خیلی قشنگ شیپش کنی اونجوری شیپش کنی هر شیپی چیز بکنی زن اینجوری نیست. And it's not their fault. This has, if you have complaints, complain to Allah Baruch Hu. Because this is the raw material. This is etzem. And so you see, so now, the woman wants, that's again, the woman wants her husband to be in the driver's seat. And here, that's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu has made man that is in driver's seat. He is Rachamim, but she is judgment. She's not going to bend. So it takes, being in the driver's seat, but acting with compassion. Acting with compassion to in other words, it's not going to work out, right? So he says, Gam lo yeh gever anav. Now, listen to this carefully. So he says, right, but it doesn't mean that, always the husband has to be matter, to let go, and not to insist on his opinion, right? He says, right, it doesn't have to be that always he's the one that is going to compromise, right? He says a husband should not be humble too much. No, he has to be, again, he has to, and I've said it so many times, Shlomo HaMelech in Mishle says, right, he says, Lashon Raka Tishbor Garem. Lashon Garem is bone. A soft tongue could break that hard bone. That bone is very hard. That bone is hard, it's etzem, it's bone. But Lashon Raka means a tongue that is soft, could shape that bone. Men need to learn how to talk. How to talk, it's everything.
Oh wait, that's Shachan, no?
What's that? Chachan?
That's Shachan Bazi.
What's Chachan Bazi?
So what are you talking about? So what exactly, how do you talk? What's
To,
an example?
just a second, just a second. To give, if you tell your wife, honey, I love you so much. I see all the. You see, if you have a karata tov, as I said, you see, the basic tenet is that we owe them. You start with this. What does Rabbi Chia? Everybody knows the story of Rabbi Chia. Rabbi Chia had a wife that was Resha'a Marshat. He had a wicked wife. Always she would do, I don't want to go into detail, always she would do the opposite of what her husband would say. And the kids, even his kids knew that. He would say, tell his kids to go and tell his wife to make polo choresh for a night. She would make, sunny side up. Right. So the kids they knew that, so they would change what the father says, that it should be Shalom Bayit. To the extent that his children were telling their father, why don't you divorce her? Right? What was his response? He says, and this Rabbi Chia, wherever he would go, he would buy a present for his wife. When his kids told him, Abba, we see what she drives you crazy, and why don't you divorce her? He says, Chas v'chalila. He says, I have a karata tov. Daya. It's enough that she gave birth to you, and she raised you, and I don't think of any other women. I now have a wife, I don't think of any other women. That's it. Just because of you see, if a person has that, a Torah, we are talking about a Torah person. This is the Torah perspective. We owe them. We owe them because without them we would not be able to do mitzvah periyah. Right? And yes, the things, it's not shachan. If you tell your wife, honey, I appreciate all what you're doing, right? And it's emet, it's not shachan. I appreciate, and inside you, I told you before, Shulo Asani Isha, every morning, we are saying, Hashem, I thank you didn't create me a woman, because being a woman, it's very, very difficult. Right? If a person starts with that attitude, and then one certain things, it's not shachan. You start with that hakarat hatov, etc., etc. But I think in this case we should do it like this or that. If you phrase it right, and it's not shachan, it's emet, right? If this is the attitude of Rabbi Chia, right? So then you could. It does again. He says it doesn't. Gam lo yeh gever anav beveto yeter al hamida shelo lidrosh v'levakesh meuma. Right? He says it's not. That doesn't mean the husband that he's what he wants doesn't matter, etc. Right? Yagid beferush ma'u lefi ta'amo. He could say, I would like it to be like this. I would like it to be like that. He should say, I would like to have this food should be. He should say his opinion, right? And then, but to be willing to compromise, right? But it does not mean that hardship begit trash, right? So he says Yagid beferush ma'u lefi ta'amo ma lo, right? You see, Rabbi Salanter used to say that you have to give your wife her domain. That basically, anything that has to do with the house, etc., etc., she decides. Food, furnishing, on and on and on. But it does not mean that the husband doesn't have a say. He should say his opinion, but to be willing to compromise. It's really when it comes to all the spiritual matters, right? The husband should make the determination, the general direction of the household, like what school the kids should go to, etc. Those kind of standards. The husband, he should be in the driver's seat. When it comes to other areas, that also he doesn't count. He should express his wishes, etc. But to give her domain as well. Mimar shahabal hu rav bebeito yotzot halachot shonot. Right. So he says, right, ve'en labal levater al kevodo. And the husband, the kavod, the respect, and the status of the man, it's very important, right? But you see, when it comes to all the, in Yanei Kavod, always the rule is the spouse that can be the kids, right? The husband should demand of his kids to have respect for their father, and the mother should remind them respect for her husband. Right? You cannot ask for respect yourself, right? But this is, they have, and it has to be, right? The kavod of the father has to be established in the house, and you see, it's very important that the husband and wife, they are when it comes to their attitude towards the kids, they are a united front. Right? If they are not, they could have all their arguments, etc. Right? In the bedroom. Right? But when it comes to the kids, they have to decide on the policies that they want to implement in the house, and they are a united front. It's not like the boys, the kids could manipulate one against the other, because this is really, if there is no unity, if there is no united front between the parents, this is a recipe for disaster. We all know the parasha of Ben Sorer Umoreh. In the Torah, Ben Sorer Umoreh, if the parents are not on the same page, there is no din of Sorer Umoreh, a kid that goes off derech. Right? So the kid that goes off the derech is only responsible if, right, the parents were on the same page. This we could talk about this whole lecture. We're going to get to it, but it's so important. It's so important that any kind of differences of opinion as far as policies, etc. It should be discussed among the parents. When it comes to the kids, they are a united front. Any questions or something? I saw some hands raised now. Okay, we'll continue. So, but now when we say that the husband should be in the driver's seat, it does not mean that he has to be a dictator at home, right? It's not she's a dictatorinis. Manam, man shoharam, man mardam. That's it, right? It doesn't work like that. Ligzor gezerot velidrosh bitkefut yeter. Right, chas v'chalila, to get angry over things, etc. This is not right, and again goes back lashon raka tishbor garem. It's like the way a person has. همه باید کاشی بشن خود خون کاشی به همه تزریق بکنیم که با سیاست بدون So
what if it doesn't work? You try to talk like that.
What?
You try to talk their language, but it doesn't work.
It has to work. What does that mean it doesn't work?
Squeeze the yoke harder.
Whenever it comes, it's part of the yoke. So result,
Because I know couples that now they're separating, so I've advised them to talk like that, and they said they've tried. It doesn't work.
It takes a lot of training and therapy. It's you see there, I definitely see. I think if somebody, if both of them internalize like the Torah concepts, see, he has a whole booklet for ladies also, right? We are talking to men. That's what we have to have for ladies also.
Where can we buy that one?
But okay, you see, the point is everybody should do. See, one of the reasons I didn't make these classes mixed because it doesn't work like that. Everybody has. Don't ask what America could do for me. You should ask what can I do for America, right? But I do believe that really the main thing is the husband. Shalom Bayit. If the husband has the chokhmah, most of Shalom Bayit issues would be resolved. He is in the driver's seat. He is in the driver's seat. You see, couples come to me. The first thing I tell them when they want to go divorce, I tell them, look, in the Torah, right? We know that it's very interesting that in a get, which means divorce, 2 letters, Gimel and Tet, right? You cannot find another Hebrew word that has these 2 letters together. It's an amazing thing. We cannot. Why? There is a message there. Hashem says, yes, we are not Catholics, etc. We do have divorce in the Torah. It's one of the mitzvot. But this is if you tried everything and you were not successful. If the only way to get these two people to come together, it's in the Bet Din for get, so then go for get. But everything else needs to be tried. Because you see, you have to realize, usually I'm telling you, 99% of the cases, get is not the solution. Right. And I do believe that, really, if people have the Torah concepts, it's definitely, it's issues are workable. Right. It's just, we are, my Rabbi, my friend, years ago, I remember 40 years ago, that's the first, I think, lecture he gave that made him famous in America was about Shalom Bayit. He said, look, we live in a generation of those days of drink and drop. Everything is disposable. Doesn't pay to fix anything. Anything. You just throw it away, get a new one. Whether it's a computer or a car, anything. It wasn't like that. The olden days, you had a lot of repair shops. So he says that's because people also don't want to work on a marriage. Like, it doesn't work out, just, as if second marriages are better. The statistics. Great majority of there is the rate of divorce on second marriages is higher than the first. Right? It's a fact. And it becomes much more complicated with the kids, etc. Let's not.
Since they learned from the first marriage, sometimes it's better.
We keep on comparing.
There is a small percentage. The statistics show that the rates of divorce on a second marriage are higher than first, right? And there's a reason for that. Anyway, so we need to work on it. We need to work on marriages, and you see, I think some of these concepts could be very, very helpful. Baruch Hashem, I don't believe anybody who's in this room has this kind of severe Shalom Bayit problems. We want to just make good Shalom Bayits even better. So, Nesiut Ol, we go back to carrying this yoke. Chachamim tell us, right, what is this Ol? Ohava kegufo umechabda yoter migufo. Gemara brings a few places. And Rambam brings us the halacha. Ohava kegufo, a person is, and you see, it doesn't happen, right? Again, another important concept, right? That our concept of love is totally different than the Hollywood concept of love. Over there, they fall in love and they get married. We get married and we fall in love, right? That's Torah, Parashat. Where is it? Parashat, end of Parashat Chayesara. The very end of Parashat Chayesara, we spoke about this before, that the perfect marriage that we found in the Torah is between Yitzchak and Rivka. That you don't find any discord and any problems, any fights. Avraham and Sarah did have some ups and downs. Yaakov, Rachel, Leah, they did. The one marriage that is exemplary in the Torah, it's between Yitzchak and Rivka. And over there, the Torah says clearly that Yitzchak Avinu married Rivka vayehaveha. After he got married to her, he fell in love, because Jewish love comes from giving. Before you're married, you don't give, right? All the giving comes after. So Nesiut. So the Torah obligates us that Ohava kegufo, that a husband is supposed to love his wife like his own body, like Rabbi Aryeh Levin, right? When he was 80 and his wife was 75, I think. Her foot was hurting. They went to the doctor, and he said in Hebrew, "Adoni harofeh, haregel shel ishti koevet lanu." My wife's foot hurts us. This is kegufo. Mamash, when she's in pain, he's in pain, and vice versa. Right? And Baruch Hashem, I'm sure all of us, we know couples like that. It's amazing. It's really something to emulate. I went a few times to their house. I remember even publicly used to say it, that how much really he loved and he respected her. So this is, and you see, now I have been Once I had a wedding, I couldn't believe it. There was, the wife, the mother of the Khatan was in a wheelchair. Under the chuppah. I'm telling you, the husband constantly, all his attention was on his wife. This is chuppah, this and that, right? This is, ohava kegufo. That's what it says. Ohava kegufo mechabda yoter megufo. So he puts it that this is part of this ol. He says nesiut ol isha. They say, what does it mean? Ohava kegufo. That this is the ol. We are supposed, how? By being a giver, you come to love her. They come to love each other. It's mutual. It's a two-way street. Umechabda yoter megufo. Mechabda yoter megufo. Why does he have to respect her more than himself? Because the Gemara says the ziluta de isha kasha gavra. You see, for ziluta, how to translate ziluta? Ziluta is like zol. You see, like in lack of kavod for women, it's much more painful than for men, right? That's why it says, it's God forbid we are just learning daf yomina. If somebody passes on and the kids, they are boys and girls, there is limited amount of money that the father left. So the Gemara says that the girls should use the money of the inheritance, and the boys should go out and beg. That's halakha. The girls should not go out که برن گدایی بکنن. خدای نکرده هم چیزی که بیفته پسرها میرن گدایی.
Up to what age?
What?
Up to what age?
Till they get to age of, no, those days it wasn't. Till Bagrut. Bagrut is, for girls, is 12 and a half. Right? Those days they used to get married. It's basically to get married. Those days they used to get married young.
Now it's 18 or 19 or 20.
That's right. Whatever. Like, if it's God forbid, there is limited inheritance that the father left behind, right? The girls come first. And then, even to the extent if the boys have to go out and extend their hands and to hand out to beg for money. Why? Because the ziluta de isha, right? Kasha the gavra. That's why, right? That's why if they have husband and wife, if they have limited funds, the amount that she comes first when it comes to clothing. Right? So always, but it's really if she comes first to allocating money for furnishings, for libas and
car, machine.
That's right. Yes, I always say she drives a Rolls Royce, he drives a Corolla, right? That's what it means. It's part of that kavod. Part of the kavod is because what kavod, the ziluta de isha kasha gavra. Because lack of respect, in other words, proper car or furnishing, etc. For women, it's much more difficult than for men. Geder ohava kegufo, right? What is ohava kegufo? Here you won't believe it, right? We all know the story that a non-Jew came to Shammai and he said, I want to convert, provided you teach me the entire Torah al regel achat, right? So Shammai was, wanted almost to kill this guy. He said, I'm learning my whole life, I don't know it. You want to know it's al regel achat, just in one sentence? He went to Hillel, and Hillel told him what? Basically, v'ata l'cha kamocha. Now, v'ahavta l'cha kamocha, we have it in a lot of Jewish homes also, Israeli, Irani, v'ahavta l'cha kamocha, they love this sentence. But do you know, what does v'ahavta l'cha kamocha, what does it mean? What does it mean, v'ahavta l'cha kamocha? Mesechodet, like yourself, Ramban tells you that this is impossible.
More than yourself.
How is it possible I would love another Jew like myself? It's not possible. Torah chachan nemige. Ramban says there are a lot of interpretations, but nobody takes this at face value. Nobody takes, because that's not what the Torah means. Ramban says ve'ahavta l'recha kamocha means that always, we want everybody to have good, but I want to have a little bit more good than others. I want everybody to make this coming year $1 million. I want to make $1.5 million, right? So Ramban says, un ni millionaire takhfif bede. Ask what you wish for yourself, wish for others also. It's a question of wish. It's impossible to love somebody else like yourself. Ramban says, it's impossible. چاخانه. من یک کسی دیگه مثل خودم دوست داشته باشم. It's impossible. How could I do that? Impossible. The question, and everybody says that. So if that's the case, why does the Torah say v'ahavta l'recha kamocha? Arizal says v'ahavta l'recha kamocha means your spouse. Arizal says, and he says that's the reason why. If really this is not what the Torah means, are you following me? You see, when it says v'ahavta l'recha kamocha, again, it does not mean you are supposed to love another Jew like yourself. A stranger Jew like yourself, it's impossible. Hashem would never give you, right, such a mitzvah because it's an impossible mitzvah. And so therefore you have interpretations. Ramban says, as I said, look, whatever you wish for yourself, مثلا بچه‌ها تو مدرسه میخوای خودت 20 بگیری، خب بذار اونم 20 بگیره، اونم اتفاق اونم 20 بگیره. Don't want that you take to 20 بگیره اون 18 بگیره. It says that's what it means v'ahavta l'recha kamocha. It does not mean literally, he says. So if it does not mean literally, why did the Torah say it? The only explanation is what the Arizal says. The only explanation. That when it says v'ahavta l'recha kamocha, it means your spouse. This is doable. A person, because the Torah says they become one, they merge together, they become one, that is doable. And that's what the Torah means. Any questions, comments? This is what I'm telling you, it's a meta Torah. It's not. ها؟ از کجا میدونی؟ شاید واسه این ازدواج کردی انشالله به کارو. When it says that when Rabbi Aryeh Levin told the doctor that my wife's foot hurts us, he didn't mean what he said? He said, my wife's foot hurts us. Okay, that's Arizal says this is doable, and Arizal says this is what the Torah. That's the reason why the Torah. See, his question is, if what the Torah says it's what Ramban says, so it should have said, right? מה שאתה מבקש לעצמך, תבקש על חברך. Right? It should have said, whatever you ask for for yourself, ask for him. But the Torah didn't say that. The Torah says, "V'ahavta l'recha kamocha." There must be a reason. Yes, the reason is Hashem says this is doable. This is your spouse. V'ahavta l'recha kamocha, Arizal says it means your spouse. Husband and wife could do هم نوعت را مثل خودت دوست داشته باش فقط تو ازدواج. Yes, all میشه یوغ. So گدر و هوا که گوفو
فارسی میگیم
افسار افسار قشنگتره با افسار بریم.
فارسی میشه
یوغ right کاموخ مماش
خواست اینجوری بگم خب میگم خانه دیگه بعد میشه دوست داشت تو میگه همراه تو میگه همه رو نمیگیری.
تورا نگفته هم نوعتم، تورا گفته رعخا. رعا زیر خوپا مگه واسه نخوندن گفتن شالوم و رعوت احوا و اخوا شالوم یادت نیست؟
مستمون کردن نفهمیدیم
شالوم و رعوت یکی از براخای عروسی به زبان عبری میگن رعیاتی. Modern Hebrew also. Modern Hebrew زوت anybody speaks Hebrew here right? رعیاتی زوت رعیاتی. نه این فارسی ترجمه کردن. من از کجا آوردن؟ اولا اونجا هم اصلش واسه اسرائیل هست. همنوع نیست. همنوع ترجمه definitely ما باید همه بنی آدم رو باید دوست داشته باشیم ولی نه مثل خودت. این ترجمه که همنوعت را مثل خودت دوست داشته باش اشتباهه.
درستش چیه؟
پس درستش چیه؟
بله؟
درستش چیه؟
به همه انسان ها عشق بورز. You could say that. انسان ها رو دوست داشته باش. اونا داریم. کبودا بریوت. ولی this is not the sentence. This is not.
یعنی انسان ها دوست داشته
نگه عاشقشون. Right? This is very important this discussion. و هفتا لرعخا کاموخا همنوعت را مثل اور به انگلیسی میگن love your neighbor like yourself. That's even more remote. What does it mean? I'm supposed to love my neighbor like myself?
نیبرمون کی هست؟ باور کنید
شما نیبر نیستم نه؟
این برادر من.
ولی Arizal says Arizal, you know, he says that's the reasons Hashem said because this is doable. You could re'acha, it's ra'ayatcha, it's your spouse. Husband and wife, yafati, yonati, ra'ayati, right? Ra'aya is a spouse. Zan shware. Unja, you could have, right? So geder ohava kegufo, wow, time flies. ואהבת לך כמוך בכל חומרו, כמוך ממש, ובכל מצבי החיים. And this is, you know, in all the moods, all the ups and downs, זה אנחנו פעם מישה מגיעים צ'י, הרי את מקודשת לי, הרי את מקודשת לי from A to Z, from Aleph to Tav, and לי, Lamed and Yud, tallest and the smallest. Right? בכל מצבי החיים לרדת תמיד לסוף הרגשתה, להרגיש בצערה, and what it means is always to have empathy, to understand her feelings. That's what Rabbi says. Empathy. We are going to be talking about empathy a lot. Right? לרדת תמיד לסוף הרגשתה, להרגיש בצערה ובשמחתה. Right? It's so important. You have to talk about, when you talk to your wife, you have to talk about their feelings. Right? How did you feel today? How did it feel like? Because they are not interested in anything else. The main, what really matters is the feelings, right? So, velo yatil ema yetera, and that's what Rambam says, that you should not, to khune bayad bidune, in hamishe bayad aramesh bashe, hukumat nizami nabashe. Velo yatil ema yetera ve ye diburo ima benachat. Rambam says, ve ye diburo ima benachat. When he talks to her, he says, lashon raka tishbor garem. این زبون نرمه که میتونه استخونا فرمش بده. نمیخوام بگم بشکنه. میتونه قشنگ فرمش بده. Good luck.